Hi HCGers, HCG Berry Babe, checking in. Um, I'm still hanging in on that HCG community update. I had my surgery on June 5. That was the last day I did pellets. I tried to do my 3 days locale, and I made it about a week on a real strict P3, and I was really delighted that my weight did not go up at all. It stayed right the same. Yeah, I did have a hernia repair and a tweaking to my old tummy tuck, so there was not as much trauma as Squeaker would have had with her initial tummy tuck or with my initial tummy tuck. So there hasn't been as much swelling. But I was really amazed that I even made it through 10 days of P3. I slowly started putting back in some carbs and tried really hard to keep my protein up, because I've realized that if I don't do adequate protein and I start eating crap, as I eat more crap and less protein, that's when I fill with fluid. My legs, it gets to the point where I lose my ankles altogether and they just look like stumps. So the day of surgery, my scale said 163, so that was my last dosage weight. I had been doing pellets. I've been trying for a long time. So I didn't make it to the 155, but the surgeon was pleased. And I was 162 on their scale, so I wasn't super far off. It's been 5.5 weeks, and I did end up just kissing. I had trouble once I started carbs, then I got into the sweet stuff, and I kissed 170, and it was like, oh my God, here we go again. And I'm thinking, do I get the pellets out again? It's like, I've had so much trouble when I'm on the pellets staying like I should, and I end up being on the pellets, and then I eat and I gain, and then I stay mop and I lose, and I just didn't feel like I had the stamina to do that. I really felt like I wanted to give my body a break, but I knew that the pellets were there if I got in trouble. But I was delighted to report that this morning when I got on the scale, I was below 165, so I'm within the 2 pounds of my LDW. I don't know if, according to Simeon's, I didn't do P3 well enough to have reestablished my set point. But I am trying something. I had looked into doing keto adapted, and I just couldn't. I just can't. I can't handle that level of fat. I need too much protein. So then I looked at calorie confusion, but didn't I didn't look heavy duty, but as far as feeling like, how do you handle low one day and high the next, and planning that. So I looked into intermittent fasting and read a lot of different things and found many different scenarios for that. And I really believe that the calorie confusion, along with eventually exercise that is variable, is the way to go, because we all know that when we go on a diet and we lower our calories, when we try to get off that diet, our body has gotten used to lower calories and we gain weight. So it's always been amazing that sometimes when you've been on low calorie and then you really pig out, you can still lose weight. It's almost like your body says, oh good, I'm not starving to death. I'm talking non-HCG dieting. So the plan that I have chosen to try to work on is you only eat for an 8-hour window. And I have chosen 11:30 to 7:30. Now, you guys that have followed me know that evening is so hard. I have such a hard time with evening eating, and it's gotten to the point where I'm even wanting to eat in the morning. It used to be I could go till lunch and I didn't care, but with all the breakfast is the most important meal of the day, I got really used to eating in the morning, even if it was just protein shake. So I've only been a couple days doing it, and it's like 7:30 comes and it's like done, done. And sometimes when I'm on a plan and I can give myself really finite guidelines, that's really that, and having to do at least 2 of the supplemental proteins a day are my 2 rules. The eating between 11:30 and 7:30 only, and I must do 2 of the whey protein only mixed with water protein shakes. The doctor felt like I wasn't getting enough protein, and I realized that I had been backing off. As my carbs increased, I was eating less protein, so I've bumped the protein back up. And it really is true that if the protein is adequate, the cravings diminish. I've given myself permission to eat at whatever, how much I want for this period of time. I really am looking for trying to get a date to have my arms done. But I'm taking longer to heal than I had anticipated. So I'm within 10 pounds of the 155 goal for surgery, so it's still going to be a few weeks before he let me schedule that. So for today, just trying to get into the intermittent fasting, the 11:30 to 7:30. Now this morning, I had a really nasty carb thing waiting for me, and I was watching the clock. 2 mornings, it's like 11:30, 27, 28, 29, 11:30, go! Today I had gone about an hour and a half from home to my bariatric support meeting, which it turned out I was the only one that showed up. So I had a little chat with the nurse, and then my husband had driven me. And as we're coming home, I'm looking at the time, and I had planned on doing a Quest bar before my 7:30, and I was having trouble finding a place. I usually do it with a caffeine-free Diet Coke that I get at Speedway, and we were having trouble finding a Speedway that A, finding a Speedway, and B, that had the caffeine-free Diet Coke. So he went to Chinese buffet and got takeout, and I ate my bar in the car, so that by the time I got home at 7:30, I was good to go. So I don't know if this is going to work, except what I know about me. Historically, I never did eat breakfast. And in fact, if I did eat breakfast, I ate a lot more during the day. So the theory of keeping, and I'll talk more when I get a little more knowledgeable, maybe I'll give a little lesson about it. But the idea is that you allow your pancreas, your insulin levels, your leptin levels, whatever, to normalize. Whereas if you're eating a lot of small meals, or you're eating, you're constantly kicking out the insulin, and then the insulin is inviting it to turn into fat and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. I just do know that I've been running a little above 165, and after 2 days of trying the intermittent fasting, I'm within 2 pounds of LIW, and I'm feeling positive about it. I don't know. I'm a little bit superstitious, but it's like, okay, this is a plan I could live with. I've been looking at what they call burst training, and it has other names, but you do very intense bursts of exercise with resting in between, and a very ritualized, flat out program, and you do that right before you end your fast. So the 11:30, while the 11:30 to 7:30 works for my teaching life, works for my when I'm off school, the eating part of the 11:30 to 7:30 works for my teaching life, but not if I want to do heavy duty exercise 3 days a week right before I break the fast. So I don't know. I'm just looking forward to reading and watching vlogs for all of you that have been out west. I had been hoping to go, but there just was no way I would have been able to manage it having my surgery. So I do want you to know that even though I'm not vlogging a lot, I'm still thinking about everybody and I am paying attention, and I have 2 completely brand new bottles of pellets ready to go when and if I feel the need. So, so far so good. And I will probably check in again in a couple weeks or more. Bye for now.